What if I told you Gigi Hadid's life is not the flawless fairy tale you think it is? That behind the magazine covers and perfect photos, there's a side to her story almost no one talks about, filled with hidden choices, quiet battles, and moments she's kept away from the spotlight. And once you hear them, you will never see her the same way again. Gigi Hadid, a name that circles the globe with an effortless allure, a presence that feels both celestial and grounded, someone who captures our attention with a single glance. But how much do you really know about Gigi? Not just the glamorous photos and runway lights, but the hidden layers, the surprising moments, and those whispers of curiosity that keeps you watching, waiting for what she will reveal next. Let me take you on a journey, not through headlines, not through flash bulbs, but through the whispers. The tiny reveals the human being she is behind the cameras. Imagine a 10-year-old Gigi grounded in a family where fashion was dinner table conversation, but where dreams were not served as dinner. They were drawn in sketchbooks and stitched in pockets of imagination. You know her as a supermodel, but she is also that quiet kid leafing through fashion illustration books, wondering what it had feel like to live the silhouettes on those pages. What pushed her away from those pages into living that life? There's a secret ambition there, one she did not shout about. But that spark was always there, glowing quietly under the surface. As she stepped onto that first runway, maybe you have heard the story, or maybe I am whispering something new. Each stride was more than a step, it was the heartbeat of someone proving, I belong here even if no one expected me to. Yet behind that confidence, who was she telling herself she needed to be? Not just tall, not just poised, but seen. And still, what did she feel when she lights dimmed and the crowd paused, waiting? That's the moment she is never fully described, but that shaped her entire orbit. You think of her Instagram posts, effortless, candid glimpses into a glamorous life, but imagine the thought behind each frame. She holds a coffee cup not just for caffeine but not to anchor herself to the ordinary amidst the extraordinary. She glides through a city street and you catch her in a hoodie, not because she wants to vanish, not even close, but because she is savoring normalcy in a world that's anything but normal. And the partnerships, you know the names, the brands, but listen closely. What drew her to them was never just logo and paycheck, it was stories aligned. Sustainability whispers her empowerment murmurs there. She is choosing partners who echo her values, even if that echo took months, maybe years, to find the right tone, the right pitch behind the shoot between applause and applause. There's a constant search. What resonates with who I am and who I want to become? Then there's that moment, maybe you have seen it, when she pivots for modeling to designing to activism to motherhood. It's not a transition, it's a layering. She does not leave behind. She gathers, she takes model memory and weaves it into advocacy. She takes wife and mother and threads them into fashion. Each role adds depth but also invites question. How does she balance being admired and being just Gigi? How does she navigate expectation while carving her own path? I want you to linger on that thought. How does she, and by extension we, live inside and roles without letting them dissolve what's essential underneath? It's a dance, a tension, and Gigi does not choreograph it. She improvises, sometimes with grace, sometimes by holding her breath, sometimes by leaning into vulnerability. In those moments when she is catch off guard, smiling too hard, laughing too loudly, or saying something raw in an interview. That is where she pulls you in, where you lean closer and think, I want more of that. So, yes, by the end of this, you will see the runway lights and the magazines, the high glows and the flash, but between them there is something quieter, something persistent, a curious spirit that's always asking, what's next? Who am I becoming? And that's why you will stay, because someone walking that tightrope between facade and truth, who sometimes gives you just enough to hold on. Well, you cannot look away. Stay with me, because we are only scratching the surface. The real question is not who Gigi Hadid is, but who she is becoming and what she is inviting us to become alongside her.